Hey guys, and welcome back to America's Kitchen Table. Well, it looks like we have a roller coaster, a virtual reality ride right there at Six Flags, and they're calling it Wall Street. So yesterday, well, first let's back up. Last week, the Dow had a major sell-off, over 3,000 points. It was probably one of the worst weeks that the Dow had seen since 2008. And then yesterday, it had possibly its greatest single day gain ever recorded. And then today, it gives back more than half, almost 75% of what it gained yesterday. So let's try to make a little bit of sense of why and how that happened. So I definitely have some theories on this. So first of all, we have to understand that the stock market, Wall Street, the Dow, the NASDAQ, whatever you want to call it, it is not the economy. It is purely America's casino. It is where we go to speculate on what companies may or may not do in the future. So many people, they tie the stock market to the economy, and it's not necessarily the case. Effectively, the Dow could go to zero tomorrow, and the U.S. economy would go off without a hitch. That's the way it should be, but that's not the way that it actually is, sadly. So what I think has happened is that everybody took a bath last week in the stock market. There was literally about $3 to $4.5 trillion of stock value sold off last week. And I don't think that was from people like me and you. I think that was the big market manipulators and the big investors and big corporations who may have a little inside baseball knowledge, or they see the writing on the wall that's about to happen here in the US and in Europe in the coronavirus outbreaks. So yesterday, it had gone back up. Like I said, one of the greatest one-day surges in history. And that was all based on speculation of the Fed was going to cut rates today here on Tuesday, which is exactly what happened. But the speculatory investors, they got exactly what they wanted, and they still sold off. Why would that be the case? I think some of the big investors, that they took some profit from yesterday or profit from last week, because over $3 trillion worth was sold off. So they took that profit, they bought some back yesterday, and then today they started shorting the US markets. So now all the big market manipulators, the hedge funds, the huge investors out there on Wall Street, they are now playing both sides of the fence. They bought a little back yesterday, and then they shorted some today. So no matter what the market does, they win on both sides, to where you and I, the average American, we're stuck here frozen in fear, shell-shocked, wondering what's going on, wondering what to do with our personal money. And then the ride keeps spinning and spinning and spinning. That's exactly what we've seen in 2008. That's what we saw in the 86. And that's a large part of what we've seen in every stock market crash that we've seen in this country. And politically, this is very dangerous too. It's getting to the point, in my opinion, to where President Trump, which I support and I voted for, but it's really getting to the point to where it's getting really, really hard for him to spin this in a positive political fashion. And why do I say that? Because we're not dealing with conventional wisdom anymore. We're not dealing with conventional X's and O's and tickers going back and forth on Wall Street. We're not dealing with conventional political wisdom anymore. We're dealing with human nature. We're dealing with a virus, whether confirmed or unconfirmed, suspected or unsuspected, warranted or not warranted, is causing people to panic. And the major investors on Wall Street are taking advantage of that. It's what they do best. It's capitalism at its purest. Notice I didn't say finest, but definitely at its purest. So it'll be interesting on how this shakes out. Today is also Super Tuesday. So by the end of the night, you're going to probably have a much better idea of who the Democrat candidate is going to be. That will also affect the markets. Personally, I think the global supply chain wreckage that it is right now, with China still being shut down and the coronavirus being out there and widespread, I think that's affecting the market much more so than the Democrat debates and primaries. That's just my personal opinion, because over on the America's Kitchen Table Facebook page, we were actually talking about this. Procter & Gamble, I posted an article over there that last week that Procter & Gamble had said that over 17,000 products are going to see a shortage worldwide because they're produced in China. Basically, all of Procter & Gamble's whole product line is going to be affected, and that's from shampoo all the way down to personal hygiene products, and this, that, and the other. Just about anything in your bathroom or possibly even your kitchen or cleaning materials is made by a Procter & Gamble owned company. So a fun little exercise would be go through your house and see what products have the big P&G on it. Just as a fun little exercise to see what could be affected in your household and your very own kitchen table. So it's going to be some tough times, I believe. Personally, I believe that we're looking at an $18,000 to $20,000 Dow within the next month, possibly as quick as the next 2 weeks. And without a big game changer or something to really bolster public confidence, I think the Dow is going to continue to fall. I say 18 to 20,000. Who knows? I'm not an expert, but then again, the experts aren't really experts either, because Wall Street is just speculatory. So, guys, that's all. And another thing is, people are really starting to think for themselves. And when is the last time that you ever known a government throughout history to ever really encourage or want the normal citizen to think for themselves? So who knows what's going to happen, but that's why we gather here at America's Kitchen Table, to try to make sense and maybe come up with a good direction on what's going to happen. Because guys, if you're prepared, you don't fear. And those who fear aren't prepared. So I hope this has inspired and encouraged you to take the action that you need in your life, whatever the case may be. And we'll see you next time right here on America's Kitchen Table.